Hi, friends. It's Sarah, the Fat Culture Critic. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about hope, but also depression and Christmas and Shakespeare. It's a odd combination, but I think it works. Um, so, like a lot of folks, I've had some dark moments in my life. A lot of dealing with mental illness, and one of my lowest points, where among other things, I was having to change medication, which um, and I was really lucky because one of my friends saw me and, the way that I was struggling. And she just kind of took me home with her. This is my friend Kiva, um, who took me to stay with her house share while I was on leave from work. And one of the things about Kiva, she's a marvelous person, but one of the things about her, she was a burlesque dancer. And so, later that day, I was sitting in the kitchen while she was figuring out a prop for her latest show. And if you know anything about me, I have a background in theater and costume and stuff. And so I just jumped in and helped. And funnily enough, that's actually how I spent my recovery time was building props and costumes and bits and bobs, and even doing a burlesque hosting gig, which is how Madam Hex was born. That was my burlesque name for a while. And I stayed with them for a month. Uh, Eva and her housemates, partner, and it helped me find my way back to myself. Uh, Being creative with friends. To me, that is the best way to find my way back to myself. And if it's something that's available to you, I suggest that for you. And it's actually the theme of one of my favorite Christmas films from '95. It's Midwinter's Tale by Kenneth Branagh, one of his early films. And it is very '95 in a lot of ways. Some of the language, but also like Joan Collins on a treadmill and a smoking montage and characters speaking in theater cant, modified Polari.
Ooh, Mandy Misery's shafted Mrs. Whitefield good and proper, hasn't she?
And it's this story about a depressed actor who decides to um, put on a play at Christmas. And unlike the usual play, he decides to put on Hamlet. And they do it as a fundraiser for the church hall in his hometown of Hope to try and save this, to try and save Hope. Because subtlety is for other writers. I mean, when you're working with Shakespeare, why be subtle? And so he like puts together this little troupe of weird people at a loose end and creatives, and there's showmances and pretentious people, and there's inside baseball jokes. one of the genres I love is art about making art. I've done sporting work and a couple of shows about making shows. And uh it is about sort of embracing the challenge and creating together, and that is pushes people, and it doesn't exactly save there isn't a big Hollywood fabulous ending, but there is enough good things and goodness and hope, and yeah, it's a delightful film in a sort of bittersweet thing you want at Christmas. Reminder of finding hope, and that thing about creating with people as a way to find hope and to build yourself back up. And that film's a little bit on my mind, and it's one of the reasons I think why one of the things I do on this channel sometimes is to have little live readings with my friends, where we try and raise some money for some good causes. And that brings me to this Sunday, December 8th, where we are going to be also doing Shakespeare at Christmas. But we're going to be doing Much Ado. And we're going to be doing it for Trans Lifeline. Because, not everyone has a kiva to take them in and see that they're struggling. And so sometimes you need an organization, and Trans Lifeline is a great one. It's, trans people supporting trans people. And as a cis person, I'm a cis queer person, and I want to support my fellow queers and the other parts of the rainbow. And also I want to support my friends. I don't want to, I never want to forget the people who were there for me. And, one of the people who was there for me at the time, in that dark moment, one of the folks I spent time with was the person who would become Kiva's wife after transition. And also, the sibling of my heart, my friend who would later come out to me. And you don't want to forget the people who were there for you. And even if you can't be there for them, sometimes you can be there for their siblings, for the folks like them, for the younger folks who don't have someone for them. And so, in these dark times, we're gonna get together, and we're gonna do Much Ado About Nothing because it's fun. And we're gonna create together and have some fun together, and hopefully raise some funds, and at the very least some spirits. Hopefully it'll be good for people to see, some cis people and a bunch of trans people playing around together and having fun and being creative together. Because supporting one another is how we get through the bad times and how we build strength. And, I want to invite you to come and come and join the chat and watch us make fools of ourselves and donate to help Trans Lifeline because people need them. And just, try and turn to one another and support each other and be creative, because that's the best we can do. Yeah, this is me being very a little bit rambly with the no script. But yes, we will be doing Midsummer's Night Dream on Sunday, December 8th at 2 p.m. Pacific, which is 5 Eastern. Hopefully you can figure out your time zone from there. It'll be up afterwards. It won't be live, but the recording will be up afterwards, and you can continue to donate always, and if you the other alternative is to give to mutual aid for trans folks, and also call your representative, right? Volunteer, do what you can do. Those of us who are outsiders one way or another have to have each other's backs, which is why I call my little theater troupe the Odd Bodies, because we're all a little odd and we're there for one another. So our cast is all YouTubers and podcasters. So you may have heard of some of these people, and if you haven't, you should check them out. So our Benedict will be Vera Wild from Council of Geeks. And our Beatrice will be Aronach, who is a very talented creator and also the co-writer of Jesse Gender, who will be playing our hero. And then Leonato, their patriarch, will be played by Zilla of Zilla's Athenaeum. Leonato's brother will be played by Adnan, who is a Twitch streamer and a lot of fun. And Don Pedro, the prince, will be played by Bellamy, who also very talented YouTuber and producer to a lot of folks. Claudio will be played by the fantastic Mr. Fox, otherwise known as Swolsome. And Don Juan, the villain, will be played by Atom Fellows of the Anarchy Funhouse. And Dogberry will be played by Kyle Calgren, who's been in some of these before and is a lot of fun. And Verges will be played by Lady Night Brave, who is a very talented YouTuber, and it's their first time joining us. They're excited about that. And Margaret will be played by Silver Samantha, who's been in these before and is a very talented musician and YouTuber. Ursula, another new person with us, will be Bridget of Bridget Empire. Very talented person joining us from the UK, so we might be a little sleepy for her, but we'll appreciate another person from the UK. Playing Balthazar will be my friend Danny, whose channel is You Call Yourself a Film Critic. For Borrachio, we have Ren, my friend and often collaborator, Ren the Barbarian. And Conrade, we have Bothered Boy, another brilliant YouTuber. And playing the Watchman, we have Abby from Not Just Tracy Turnblad, which is actually a TikTok. And Sexton, we have Mandy, mainly Mandy, another great YouTuber and previous collaborator in this type of thing. And as George Seco, we have Josh, who is my co-host on Muppet Sex and Drama. He doesn't do YouTube, but he does. He's been a terrific podcast co-host. And then there is me playing Friar Francis, the friar who suggests people should, solve their problems by pretending to be dead. If I had a nickel for every Shakespeare friar who suggests that, I'd have two, which is not a lot, but it's interesting that there are two. So that is our little crew, and we will be here on Sunday, and we would love you to join us. We would love to perform for you and ourselves, and hopefully raise some money, and like I said, raise some spirits. So yeah, with that, thank you to my patrons as always, and I will see you on Sunday, I hope.